Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming back, and good to see you here on Walking in Shadow again. Of course, I'm Jason. I'm sure most people watch this video know me or know all about it, but nevertheless, if you're new, welcome. It's good to have you watching a video, and what I mainly do is I like to use my talents of empathy and psychometry, um, and my general intuition, which is my guide, also known as Voonseth, who is my higher self outside of space and time. That all being said, the things I enjoy doing most and what I like to do here on the channel is sort of the alchemy, dual self kind of work, shadow work. But my main number one jam of all time is to hunt negative entities and to cleanse houses of them or land, just to fight them. It's what I like to do. I really enjoy it. I get a kick out of it. I would never charge money for it. It's just I just love doing it, you know. So that's what we're going to be talking about today specifically. My 46th birthday came pretty recently, and I've been waiting for that for a long time due to numerologically speaking. You have like a path, like your life is a wave, literally and figuratively and numerologically, but your life is a wave, and so it has peaks and valleys, and in this case, a lot of people, like generally, they sort of plateau up or out like in their 25 to 30-ish, down to mid-40s maybe, or I don't know. But mine, just the way that it fits, I actually started, and now like I'm going to be rising up to my plateau starting at 46, which of course 4 plus 6 is 10, 1 and 0, 10, 1, or 1. It's the beginning of a cycle. The new moon was in Virgo. It was just the time to get to it. So if I'm going to be doing something that I really love so that I can pass it on to you, and for either for your entertainment or education, then, you know, I got to do what I like doing, you know. So I definitely had changed it up a little bit. I was put into contact with some people a couple days ago, and I met them that same day. I didn't know anything about them other than a few texts we'd shared where they had been staying in a hotel for a couple days, 3 or 4 days, I think, because the entities in their house had driven them out of their house. Now, that is my jam, okay? I am not like a paranormal ghost hunter because I already know they're there, and ghosts, I don't care about. You know, I mean, that's, if we can help them to move on, great. Or if they're just a stain, fine. But entities, I don't come there to study them and take pictures of them. I come to kill them and destroy them, you know. So, or at least banish them locally. It just depends on what it is and whatnot. But anyway, so I met these people at a park. They showed me some videos, which were amazing. I wish I could share them, but I don't know how to tell you. You know, that's the problem with a video like this. Like, of course, you want to see the stuff I see when I'm doing the stuff. That was my original intention, but there's a couple things you have to consider. I mean, like if you have values, which I assume you do as a warrior or a competent energy user, you have some kind of ethics. And just, even though they both agreed to be on video, I just felt with the state of the land and the people that it just wasn't, it would be like exploitative to put them on. It might have been entertaining, but I don't care. I mean, at the end of the day, and all the views have been had, I still have to look at myself in the mirror and be like, okay, I'm still all right with that. And that's the only decisions I make. There's no point in making any other decisions except the ones you're sure about. Because, I mean, what's the point? If you have to decide, you have only yourself to blame if it fails. Anyway, so I met him in the park. I saw the videos. There were some amazing videos. There was a shadow moving across the backyard without a person or a thing attached. And I know a lot of the things that I saw could have been manipulated by somebody with a skill, but these people, I don't know, unless they were just incredible character actors, I was not concerned about their technical expertise and as far as graphic manipulation or anything else really. But nevertheless, their problem was quite real. That property where it was had many deaths on it. That's why they got the land so cheap. And what ultimately it was there were 3 entities in the house. And there was a sort of a land spirit or nature spirit. I don't know what it was. I can't say it was this or that, because I mean, what's that matter? Like, they're all sensed without human eyeballs, so what's the point of naming a thing that you're never going to be able to identify based on somebody else's representation visually? What's the point? But some kind of land spirit had been there, and because of the deaths, and there was a lot of, I don't want to say trash, but there was just a lot of stuff. There was a whole demolished, house on the land. They didn't live in it, but it was there too, and the land itself was not happy with the whole setup. So that spirit, which was fueling most of the incidents, it would fuel the entities inside, which were negative entities. I don't know if, I feel like maybe they were people a long time ago, but not anymore. I don't know what they were, but I know they had to go, so that's what happened to them. Let's see. So I met him at a park, saw the videos. I went there. I felt bad because the dog had been in the house with the entities. But of course, they were staying in a motel, so probably if they could barely squeak that out, they probably can't afford dog fee. And here's a pit, so of course, a lot of places won't take pits. And a bird in there too, and I was just like, oh, I mean, I immediately felt for those animals. When we got there, I hear the dog barking, and they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, he shouldn't bite you or anything, he's a good dog, he just, and I'm like, no, he's been in there this whole time, please go let him out, I mean, let him come out of there. And he let him out, and that dog just came running straight at me, and they were like, oh, and I was like, hey, big puppy, and he jumped right up on me and was like wagging his tail, and I pet him and loved on him and stuff, and they were tripping, and they were like, I can't believe he's never done that to anybody, his tail's wagging. I said, well, because he knows that I'm here to help, and I'm gonna give him his life back, because that's what the point of what I do is freeing people, humans, from manipulation by non-humans. And usually that requires, you know, heave-ho with the sword. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track there, but it was a lot. So I got in. When I first went in, there was a giant mirror, and I mean, I've never seen a mirror this big. Like, and not in a hotel or something. Like, it was probably 7 feet high and probably 5-6 feet wide, and it was right in front of the door. Like, as soon as you came in, giant mirror. And I was like, well, here's problem number one, because, you know, the idea being, like, mirrors are very powerful if you're not aware. I know some people who might watch this video who are very aware. I know you. But it's like if it's reflecting a portal, then there's an eternal reflection of a portal, meaning a portal. You're creating a portal for things to come through. More especially, and to my friend watching right now, you shouldn't put mirrors facing each other, for God's sake, unless you're like have a specific energy purpose of doing it, and when you're done, you should get them away from each other, you know. Now, if you don't believe in any of that stuff, then I don't know why you're watching this unless you're going to troll me. But, you know, it's just not a good idea. So after that, I located the 3 because I don't like people to tell me where the stuff is. I like to sense the stuff and verify. That to me, it's not like ego, like, oh, I'm cool. It's for my and the other people's safety to make sure I am aware of the problems and where they are, and that there aren't any surprises or anything. So I look all through the house and check it out, both visually and not visually. That house, they had security cameras in every room pointing in the house, and exterior ones. There was just a ton of coverage. And I know you'd be like, well, why don't you give us videos? Trust me. You're just going to have to trust me on this one, okay? When I do something that I can bring a camera and stuff, I'm going to do it. That's the point. We're going to get into that territory, but because that's what I love to do. But not this time. It's just not a good idea. I know what I'm talking about. This one it's not worth it. So anyway, I located the particular entities. I had them stay outside because they were already pretty affected, and I didn't want them getting attachments if they already didn't have them, which, surprise, she did. I had, let's call it, frozen the particular entities into place. I get so pumped because, like, you know, the AC hadn't been on, and when I go into the rooms, I brought the gong out, and I'm doing the gong to agitate them, and good Lord, I mean, it dropped 30 degrees in that room, and I was like, yeah, where a lot of people are like, oh no, the ghost. I'm like, oh yeah, the ghost. So, you know, I just get excited about it. But that's what happened. But when all 3 of them bucked up, when they realized what was going to occur, it got like 100 degrees in that room. And those are things like, sure, if I had the big team, oh, watch the temperature, da-da-da. I mean, it doesn't work. And to me, that's possible collateral damage, because things could attach to people unknowingly. I mean, a lot of things can happen. Somebody could fall in a hole. I mean, if I fall in a hole on my little adventure, then, you know, I should watch where I was going. But I can't be responsible for multiple people like that. Not at this point in it. But anyway, so I cleared 2 of the entities, and I had done half the house, and it was pretty good. I had it all energetically neutral. And then I said, now I'm going to get this last one. So if you guys, because they were on that side while I was on the other side, and I said, just switch with me and go over to the neutral side. And as she passed me, I could see, again, this is C, not C, or C, you know, like a little, like one of them little tiny backpacks somebody would wear on their back. But it was like a dark, it was a thing. It was attached to her back. Like, it was like, oh, well, he's coming over here, and so I'm going to leave and go over here. No entities over here, guy. So I stopped her, and I took my sword, and I told her, I said, you feel a little poke? And I just lightly got her skin, but got the other thing off. And as soon as I did, she felt invigorated. And she, oh, what happened? I was like, you had a little sucker on you there. So I did the rest of the house. Then I had them, because they're a couple, burn sage and smudge the house. Because it was neutral at that point. And I said, now, together, take the sage, go through the house, smudge it, declare that you are the owners of the house, that nobody can come in without your consent, and everybody's going to be protected, and, you know, things like that. So you go do that. I'm going to figure out what's in your backyard. So then, I mean, I already knew, but I don't know how to say it, like, diplomatically, it was best to just, it's the bad ghosts to them. You know what I'm saying? Because if I tried to start explaining about a nature spirit, because they were just, I'm not saying they were dumb. They weren't dumb. They were just, you know, I don't know. They were just so focused on all the stuff that was happening to them and had happened to them that they couldn't really, like, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like shop talk. You know, like if I was at somebody's house or had like peers with me, and then I could say, oh, well, it's this versus this and this. But, you know, people who just need something out of their house, they don't really care what it is or what it's called or what it's, they just want it out and they want their life back. So I had solved that for them, but I had to do the land because that was the real problem. So I took my shoes off, went in the backyard, and I got down on my hands. I didn't get on my knees because I'm big and it might take a minute to get back up. But I crouched down, put my hands on. Oh, doinks, I just forgot about an important part right before this, is that right after I did that with the sword, there was like a pressure pop, it was just like it was very subtle, but we all noticed it. And this necklace here that I got from my friend Domestic Orb Ashley, she got me this, and it's labradorite and tektite, and it was on a longer cord. I got a better, shorter cord from Malia at Curiosities the other day. He hooked me up with that because after I did the sword, we feel the pop or whatever, and I feel it like move on my neck, but I don't know. I'm like, huh? And when my attention turns to it, that pop happens, and the string broke. Like it started to fall off, and I grabbed it, and so that's when I turned the heat up on him and you know, finished it. But then the important part here was that an entity had touched this necklace. So that charged it in a way where, I don't know how to describe it, like if you I don't know, like it has an affinity to the ethereal once something ethereal has come into contact with it. Because for that brief second, or whatever you want to call it, contact was made from the ethereal entity to this physical object. So then, also using my psychometry, it makes it very easy to read, like, I don't call it technical data, but something like that from the stone and, you know, what it can do then. So in this case, I still had it in my hand, and I laid it down on the ground, and I just prayed into the earth for Gaia to hear me and to let this ancient land spirit enter the necklace. And I would take it somewhere else where it could, you know, do whatever nature spirits do, but without all that decay and death and just, you know, not in a natural way. Natural decay and death is one thing, and that would be fine, but a lot of that was not natural. So it actually did accept and entered the necklace. So I put it in the trunk, and then left, wrapped that up, and went back home the next day, which was 2 days ago. I was just so tired from it, physically, spiritually, mentally. I pretty much just sat home and played Mass Effect 3 all day. I played Mass Effect many times, but I keep wanting to clean up the data to have the perfect game for whenever the next Mass Effect comes out that's not Andromeda. Sorry, geek out there, nerd for a minute. But anyway, so I played Mass Effect 3 all day. I didn't do anything. Yesterday morning, I got up and drove about 90 minutes to Greenbrier, and from that point, I cleaned it and released the spirit into the waters. I also cleaned my staff and the sword. All of those parts, fortunately, because no other people were involved, I did capture, and I'll be sharing that soon in the video after this one. In fact, because I have them both, I may just go ahead and release them both, so that if you're actually interested in the story, you can follow it right along. So until then, I hope you'll stay tuned and check out the next video, where you get to see the return of the nature spirit to nature, and like one of the most beautiful, pristine places to do so, in my opinion, and some other cool shit. So once again, thank you so much for joining me and sticking with me. I really want to get out and get more stuff going on, especially now that it's not ball-bustingly hot. You know, that really helps me want to go outside for long periods. That's it. Just, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you'll watch the next one too. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day.